Hey everybody, it's Jasmine and I am back with my SHOPMISSA monthly roundup review. They launched such amazing products this past month and I am just so excited to finally dive in, dig in, and give you guys my review. I also have a lot of demos and applications and swatches in this video, so just be sure to stay tuned. This is going to be a bit of a longer video, but I will have timestamps in the description box below. Most of you guys may have caught on that they do launch new products every Tuesday, and with the new launches they do have a $1 shipping promo for US citizens and $3 shipping for Canadian citizens, and then I don't believe they have anything for international. I do have an inkling as to why they don't have anything for international, and I do believe it's because it is more pricey. So I hope that they are able to do something in the future, but for now all we could do is be patient and wait. To keep things as chronological as possible, I'm just gonna pick up where we left off, which is the nail polishes. They launched 12 different shades, which has been amazing, and I've been wearing them non-stop for about 2 months now, maybe a little bit more. Now they do have 12 shades as I mentioned, and I feel like I have a pretty good opinion for each individual shade. So most of the shades are pretty consistent. I do love the variety of colors. I wish they had more nudes and I wish they had more glitters, but I think 12 is a great start for now. Right now I do have a kind of milky pink iridescent tone to my nails. This isn't the most pigmented type of shade on my nails, but I do love how minimalist this looks, and it almost looks pearly as well. So to achieve that, I went in first with the shade called Bear, and right on top I went in with Bubbly as a top coat, which was that iridescent shade. Now I do find that a lot of the lighter tones in the collection, they do run a little bit milky and they do run a little bit sheer, but to be honest, I'm not mad about it because I'm kind of into it. So if you are looking for something full pigment that is still of a milky tone, I don't think that you'll be extremely excited about these. But I do have to say tones like this darker tan, Toffee, this shade right here, which is one of my favorites, this slate gray called Secret, the white, and then the black, those are full pigment. I really like those shades. I find that whenever I wear them, I can just go in with one coat and be done. It's kind of that type of situation. Very similar to a Sally Hansen nail polish in my opinion. I do find these to be of better quality than, what's that one? It's the one that Kylie Jenner collaborated with, Sinful Colors. I think this formula is better than Sinful Colors in my opinion, but it's very comparable to Sally Hansen. I do want to note that this shade right here, this is the one called Nude. This is probably the worst formula in the nail polish collection. This was thick, it was chunky. When I painted it on my nail, it started thin, and then right when you got to the tip of the nail, it just clumped up all together and it was just a mess. So out of all of the shades that I have used, I think the Nude one was just not it. So just avoid this as much as possible. It's also this weird like salmony nude, so on top of my like yellow skin, it did not look good. It did not flatter me one bit. So this one was probably the most disappointing one out of all of them. The two shades that I did not really reach for were these two, but go figure, because I'm not really into reds and I'm not really into pinks, but everything else I did go through. Now they also do have a base and top coat, and I decided on a regular day I would do the base coat, 2 layers of nail polish, and then the top coat. I feel like the formula of these two are the exact same. I don't find my nails to be ultra long wearing with the top coat. I don't find my nails sticking better to my nails with the base coat. I feel like if you already have a ride or die top coat and base coat, you don't need these. These to me are just clear polishes and they don't give me a good base nor a great top coat. But with everything said and done, I do find myself having a pretty good nail nail wear. If I am working a lot and using my hands, I will see a little bit of chipping in the first couple of days, but if I'm just merely going to school, then I won't see chipping until maybe a week later. So I am going to pop up a picture of me doing a before and after from a couple of days just so you guys could see. These polishes, all in all, I feel like are pretty worth it for $1. They are better than Sinful Colors, they're better than LA Colors. Their nail polishes aren't my cup of tea unless you're buying the glitters, but you know, I think for what it is, it's really good and I do recommend it. Now let's talk about the palettes. Last year they launched a set of 4 palettes, these 25 color palettes that retail for $10, which I thought was amazing. That review literally skyrocketed, so thank you guys for loving that review. Now they launched 3 different palettes here. They have the Self-Made palette, the Violets Are Blue palette, as well as Over the Rainbow palette. I'm going to talk about each of these palettes individually and give you guys my thoughts and opinions. Let's start off the review with the Violets Are Blue palette. I was so excited when I saw this palette because I thought, oh my god, I love the shade variety in this palette so much more than the Vanity palette. I saw blues, I saw nudes that were more for my skin tone, and I just thought overall this might just be it. This might just be such a hit. But soon to realize that the darker shades in here are not dark enough. So when I am trying to darken up and deepen up my crease, it just didn't work out in my favor. And I just felt like there was an element that was missing in this palette, and I just feel like it would have benefited if there was like a black, but because there isn't, I just feel like you only get up to a medium intensity with the eyes, which to some people that might be great, that just might be all they need, but for me I would like a little bit of variety because I do see lightness in this palette, but then the darkness is kind of what's lacking for me. So for $10, yes, it's great, but I feel like there could just be a little bit more. So if they were able to mash up the Violets Are Blue palette and the Vanity palette together side by side, then I just feel like you would have just such a hit palette because the Vanity palette is just super dark and super, I want to say it's like more of like an eerie palette. So if they combined the two, I think that would have been great. But because they didn't, I feel like that's why it's a little bit lackluster to me. Mind you, I felt like the eyeshadows were amazing for what it was, but you know, I have so many palettes, so I am going to be a little bit harder on my critiques. Now let's talk about the Over the Rainbow palette. I love how bright this palette is, and I feel like that is what distinguishes this palette from a lot of other drugstore palettes on the market right now. This is also creating the same problem with me with not going deep enough, but for the brightness, I do think that this really stands out. I think for $10 and for 25 shades, you really cannot go wrong. I do find that the more neon shades like the yellow and the lime green stand out better when you are applying it over a wet base, like concealer or just a cream eyeshadow. It just stands out just a little bit more, but you know, that's how it is with a lot of neon shades. So I can't be too mad at it. I do love all of the looks that I created with this palette, and I've gotten tons of compliments whenever I used it. So you know what, I do want to give this my stamp of approval, and I love how the shades just pick up so beautifully on the SHOPMISSA brushes, and I feel like that is pretty fair to say because, you know, SHOPMISSA should go well with SHOPMISSA. I love that, you know, now we have a little bit of color from SHOPMISSA. Finally, let's talk about my favorite palette that they launched, which is the Self-Made palette. This palette literally has it all for me. It has the neons, it has the brights, it has the nudes, and it also has that deepness in this palette. The colors definitely go deep enough. There's a black in here, there's a slate gray in here. There's literally all of the shades that I need for a look that will take me from day to night, colorful to neutral, just such an overall well-balanced palette. And I think that this is where you guys just need to go on the SHOPMISSA website right now and just buy it, because it is one of the best 25 color shadow palettes that they have on their website right now in comparison to the ones that they launched last year. This one just stands out to me so much more. And I do find that the shimmers in here are a little bit more buttery than their old palettes. And I don't know, man, it's just, this palette just is so chef's kiss to me that I feel like I need to buy another one, but why would I? You know, why would I buy another one? I'm just kind of crazy, and I feel like I'm a hoarder. But Overall, this is something where I feel like is really special to the Miss A website, and I do give it my stamp of approval, and I do want to put this in my top category for Shop Miss A products. It literally feels like years when Shop Miss A posted on their story and asked everyone what they liked in their concealers. And I remember typing, I like my concealers creamy, I like it to be self-setting, and pretty much all of the reasons why I like Shape Tape, right? And they finally came out with their liquid concealers. I am so excited about it. Now, I got the shade Buff. This is also part of their Paw Paw charity line. So 55 cents gets donated to animals, which I think is just so amazing. I love it when they come out with a killer product and they also put it in one of their charity lines. That's just, they just do it so good every time. So I decided to get the shade Buff because I felt like it was light enough to give me a highlighted effect, but also it was yellow enough. I also didn't bother buying the entire collection because I read a lot of comments that it just doesn't help anyone if you are lighter or darker than me if I started swatching, because you know, it's just harder because I am so yellow. So I just decided to just stick with my shade and my shade only, and I just chose Buff. Now, I really like this because when I apply it, it doesn't feel heavy, it's very moisturizing, and I find that it doesn't crease as much. Today I actually decided to not set it, and I do crease a lot under my eyes, but for the most part it actually holds up pretty well. Does it still crease? Yes, but that is to be expected with my concealers when I don't set them in place. When I do set it in place, it literally just looks like the exact same from the time I applied it to the time where I'm ready to take off my makeup, which is a good sign to, you know, tell me that, hey, it's long lasting. And I was wearing this at work and I was sweating, but I didn't find that to move my makeup at all or budge my concealer at all. And yesterday I also wore it, and yesterday was Christmas and people were touching my face all day. I didn't want that, but I couldn't tell anyone no, because it was my family, you know what I mean? And with all the touching, with me running around and everything like that, it stayed up for me. But then again, I do have a normal skin type, so I can't really speak to you if you are dry or oily, but I can see it being a little bit dewier on someone who does have a little bit of an oilier complexion, but it's very moisturizing, but it stays on for a really long time and it doesn't crease as much once you set it. But even if you don't set it, it stays pretty good. It doesn't really crease. I mean, you guys can have a look right under my eyes right now. How does it look? Haven't set it. It's been there for, I want to say maybe 4 hours now. I don't think it's that bad. I also wanted to mention that this comes in a little squeeze tube like this. So it's not in an applicator, but this is very sanitary. So I feel like if you are a makeup artist and you're on the go, this is a really good concealer to have in your kit as well. So I do like the fact that it is squeezable. You can control how much you are using. If you are prone to acne, then this is definitely one concealer that I highly recommend because it doesn't have that wand that you just put on your face and dip back in. More sanitary, and I feel like it's better for travel as well as clients. From my experience with this concealer, I feel like it's a medium coverage concealer, and if you build up, you can get it all the way to full coverage. I think it's a pretty solid concealer. I do think compared to their old AOA concealer, I like this 100 times better. I really do not like their old concealer unless I'm using it to cut my crease. I just find it's really thick, it's very cakey. Once I start blending it in with a blender, it just picks up my foundation and it doesn't do me any justice. But with this, I could blend it in with a brush, I could blend it in with a sponge, and it'll look amazing. And I think I like this formula 100 times better and 100 times over their older formula. So if you are someone like me who just didn't like a cakey concealer, you'll probably really like this. If you've been watching my videos this past month, you guys have been seeing me use the black SHOPMISSA lash glue. I have always been a person who despised black lash glue. When I first started actually doing lashes on myself, I had the black duo lash glue. I made two wrong choices. One, it was in a squeeze tube, so it always got stuck in the tip, and two, it was duo and it took a million years to get tacky. So I didn't really know what was going on, but since then I always vouched to myself, I will never use black lash glue again. But then SHOPMISSA came out with one and I was like, let me just try it. So I ended up just giving it a go. It's latex free. It's also part of their A+ collection. And you guys know I love their original clear lash glue. It's what I use in all of my videos. It's what I use in all my tutorials. But since this, I have been, you know, just testing the waters out. I've been very skeptical and very scared because if you get black lash glue on your eyes, it's kind of like game over. Everyone sees your mistakes and you just have to be really precise with it. But speaking of precise, it comes with the brush applicator, which is really, really good. It's latex free. Did I say that already? I don't know, I forgot. So it's really precise when you apply it. So you could just easily measure out how much you want to apply. If you want to apply more in the inner corners or outer corners, you're able to do so. I like their lash glues in general because one, doesn't smell like booty hole, which Duo definitely does. It smells horrid. And also it doesn't take long for it to get tacky. So if I'm in a rush, I could just apply it. I could wait 30 seconds and I'll just reapply it on my eyes and it'll just be great. It's just easy, foolproof in my opinion. And I feel like because I started using black lash glue, I never had to go over my lash line again with eyeliner, which saved me an additional step. So I think I may be converted, but I don't know yet. I really don't know. I feel like it's a little too soon for me to, you know, get out of my clear lash glue ways, but I do feel like I am seeing a difference with this, and I'm not as big of a hater as I used to be with black lash glue, so that's good. The menstrual cycle. We all go through it, you know? Some days are heavier than others. I actually bought the regular pads because now that I'm on birth control, I don't really have heavy periods as much, which is great, let me tell you, because my flow used to be so heavy and I hated it. And I feel like my periods now, I only really use a regular pad one day out of the entire week, which is great. Honestly, I'm saving a lot of money that way, okay? So I'm just gonna open one. I'm just gonna show you guys what it's all about. So this, I believe, is made out of 100% cotton. Oh my God, I just peeled the adhesive. Oh my God. Okay, well, I guess we'll show you guys like this, then it's totally fine. Now for pads, I usually use the Always Infinities, I believe that's what it's called. Just the one with like the memory foam. It feels luxurious, by the way. It feels actually immaculate on the vagina. So these pads, they do come with the wings. So if you're not a wing person, I don't believe they have non-wings yet, but it comes like this. I mean, so far so good. I don't feel like these are my absolute favorites, but listen, I think compared to the Always, I think the regular pads, the one that comes in like the yellow packaging, this feels so much better because I feel like the original Always pads, you know, the barrier from like the actual cotton to your vagina, I feel like that is like of a plasticky material. So then like when you're walking around, you feel it like all wet and like it feels like a diaper and it feels disgusting. I literally hate it. That's why I converted to the Infinity pads in the first place. I literally hated that feeling, and the only reason why I was using it was because I was young and my mom bought it from Costco. And so now that I'm older and I'm buying my pads, I can make my own choices. So this one, the barrier here on top, it is just like a very soft, I do think it is cotton because the whole thing claims to just be 100% cotton. It's a lot softer on you. So when your blood does leak through, it goes all the way down and it doesn't just lay on top. So that is also really, really nice. But if you are like so used to wearing the Infinity Always pads, then this does feel of like a little bit of like a lower grade pad. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like the Infinities are just so luxurious. They're so pricey for a reason. They're literally like pillows for your vagina. It's great. But these ones, they are doable, they're workable, they feel better than the original Always, which is my point right here, right now. On the website, they do have the regular, which is this, and then they do have the large, which I do believe will be a little bit longer and a little bit thicker. I don't use any large or heavy pads anymore because I don't need it, like I said. But they do come in a 3 count, and the 3 count is going to retail you for $1. And then if you want to go to a 10 count, then that's going to retail you for $3.80, which is still really, really affordable. And I'll also read you guys a little bit more information about these. So yes, it's 100% certified organic cotton covered pads, and the cotton is sourced in the US, which is amazing. So we love that for us. We love that for our vaginas. I am not a pad connoisseur. I know there are a lot of people who are well educated about pads and vaginas and menstrual cycles. But you know what? I can only give my review based on my experience. If you want to know more about sex and the body and anything like that, I would highly recommend watching Soothing Sister. I talk about her a lot, Stephanie. She's really, really good, and I highly recommend her content if you are looking about like vaginas and boobs and, you know, anything with like health of the body. She's really, really amazing at educating everyone. And I just, again, vagina talk, very important. Something that's more of a newer launch are their Buttercream liners and shadows. They launched 12 different shades. I am not gonna lie, when they first launched these, I was like, oh, that doesn't look as fun. I was really against it because I just felt like, you know, I just threw out all of my ColourPop Super Shock shadows and my Jelly Much shadows, and they all dried up on me within 6 months. And I'm really diligent about closing and making sure that I am putting back my products as good as possible, and they still dried up on me. So I was thinking, oh my god, it's going to be like a Super Shock shadow, but it's actually not. It's actually literally a cream shadow and not like a, I always compared a Super Shock shadow to like room temperature butter. This is actually like creamy, it's workable, and I decided to use 4 different shades on my eyes today, so I am going to be putting up my demo here in the video. Now, I really like these because they are creamy, but they have a little bit of substance to it, to the point where you could blend it and it'll also self-set. It doesn't crease on the eyes, and I think that's what really, really stands out to me. I do, however, am very iffy about it in the waterline though, because it doesn't claim to be waterproof. So I wouldn't recommend it there if you're looking for something long lasting. If you're looking for a little bit of pop of color, then maybe for pictures or something, then this would be great. They pick up on brushes amazingly, very similar to the eyeshadow palettes. They pick up on the brushes amazing, and I just feel like for the amount of shades that you get quite a variety. You get some browns, you get pops of colors, you get shimmers, mattes, literally everything that you need to complete a look. This is also great as a base if you're going in with another shadow to put on top of it to make it a little bit more intense. It's just amazing. I really, really like it. I really thought I wasn't gonna like these and I was just gonna sit here and tell you how much I dislike them, but they exceeded my expectations because a lot of the other cream shadows that I have worked with, they're very like waxy, and when you swatch them, they have like this film to it. It's like, it's this weird like greasy film, and it's always been like that. The mattes are immaculate. It's so, so amazing. Even the shimmers, the gunmetal that I used for my eyeliner today, stunning. It's so stunning. So if you do get a chance to get at least one of these, I highly recommend it. I do feel like if you don't close it, just like a Super Shock shadow or any cream shadow, it will dry up. So just make sure you're storing these in a cool environment, a cool shaded environment, and hopefully it'll last you a little bit longer than 6 months. Since I haven't had these for 6 months, I can't really speak upon it just yet. I really do like these, and I do feel like if you need a pop of color, if you just need a good base, then this is definitely it. This is where to look. SHOPMISSA actually launched one more thing that I actually did not want to buy, which are their new reusable straws. Now I actually do have their original reusable straws, but this time they launched a pink set and then a blue set. I simply did not want to get them because I feel like my only gripe was that they were not collapsible, and they didn't have a boba straw. I felt like the only times I really do use straws is when I'm getting boba, and that's it. Milk tea, whatever you like to call it, bubble tea, as some people might suggest. Yes, anyway, that's the only time I ever use straws. When I'm in restaurants, I don't use them, and I just feel like because it's not collapsible and because most of the time I am wearing a small backpack or a fanny pack, it just never fits in there, and I keep it in my car, but then usually when I have it in my car, I always forget to wash it. So I am just probably gonna wait until they have other options available as far as their straws are concerned. But I do like them, and I do like the fact that it is part of their reuse collection. I think that it is great. It's a great step in the right direction, but I think I just need something more travel friendly, in my opinion, and that's just what I need in my personal life because I'm honestly always on the go and I'm not just sitting at home sipping on a drink, you know? And just like that, you guys, that wraps up my entire SHOPMISSA roundup review. I hope you guys all enjoy. As always, I am a SHOPMISSA affiliate, so if you do shop via my affiliate link, I will earn a small commission, but it's always encouraged, never forced. You guys know I am not the type of person to shove it down your throats. But I also wanted to mention that SHOPMISSA did generously send me the palettes. They didn't want me to do this review at all. They just generously sent them to me, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. As with all of my reviews, I pay for everything by myself, but I just wanted to say a quick thank you because it is just so nice of them to do that. As always, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.